This week I've been driving the absolutely gorgeous Alfa Romeo Giulia. This sedan has not been updated for about 10 years. It came out in 2015 as a 2016 model year, this Giulia. And here we are in 2025 and not a whole lot has changed. Is it still worth taking a look at? Well, today we're gonna test drive this, review it, this 2025 model. We'll look around in my area to see if there are any deals to be had on it. And at the end, I'll give you my final recommendation if this is worth your money here in 2025. This Montreal green is absolutely gorgeous. You hardly see any greens on the market, let alone ones that look as good as this. I mean, this paint color alone is why someone would be attracted to this vehicle. Now, this is the Veloce trim, which is kind of the top of the line, not including the Quadrifoglio. Let's go and get under the hood. There's just one engine option besides the Quadrifoglio. We have just a 2-liter turbocharged engine. Let me lift this bad boy up. There we go. Good engine presentation, but go figure, it's an Italian car. 280 horsepower, 306 pound-feet of torque, rear-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is about $2,000 upgrade. I would skip that, just stay with rear-wheel drive. You can help it 8-speed ZF automatic here. Fuel economy, well, it depends how hard you want to push this thing, but fuel economy is probably going to be in the mid to upper 20s, especially on the highway. It'll get to the upper 20s, maybe even past that. You gotta love the triple LED daytime running lights are absolutely gorgeous. The trifold grille with the triangle and the Alfa Romeo logo. I mean, guys, yes, it's old, but do they need to update the exterior? Not really. I mean, it might stop some people who already have an Alfa Romeo from upgrading because nothing as much has changed, but it's still a beautiful car all these years later. The red brake calipers here coming to the rear. Still looks good from the back, even with these taillights getting a little bit old. It's a slight lobster claw. The dual exhaust looks amazing. Honestly, it looks like, maybe it's a bit heresy for some of you guys, but this dual exhaust looks fairly similar to what I've seen in Aston Martin's Q4. So this does have the all-wheel drives, a $2,000 option. I would just be sticking with the rear-wheel drive option. All-wheel drive will do 0 to 60 just a hair quicker, about the mid-5s. And then rear wheel drive will be about 5.7 seconds, 0 to 6 if you guys care about that. I'm looking underneath here, no spare tire, just a bunch of styrofoam it looks like, but I bet you could absolutely get a spare tire. I'm not gonna be looking under there if you need one. There is also a pass-through in there, which is nice. You can fold down the seats if you want. All right, I'm gonna go and get in the back seat. And this is where I don't want to spend a lot of time. I actually have not really been taking my kids to school this week because it is just too small. Materials are soft here. They don't look great, but they feel nice, I guess. And just a real basic rear door here. Perforated leather seats here on this Veloce trim. And getting on the inside, well, this was tough. I can't even look. I can't even raise my head here. But anyways, my daughter, she's like, Dad, open the sunroof. And I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I was pressing the button up here, but the button only operates this automated sunroof. And this one's manual back here, which manual is great for adults, but for kids, they can't really reach it. All right, couple LED lights back here, cup holders. You know, this back seat, it's not as bad as I was expecting it, to be honest. This is set up for me at over 6 feet tall, just over. We still have USBs back here, not the most updated. We do have heated outboard seats in this top trim, and we also have some ventilation back here, which you would expect in a luxury car. USB-A's, like I mentioned, instead of USB-C's. Now, you do have a huge drivetrain hump, so other than a little kid, no one else would be able to sit in this middle seat, all right? So it's really mainly just a 4-seater, I would say. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the front seat, which is kind of difficult to get out of there because of the wheel hump. Let's go and drive this into the shade so it's a little bit easier on your eyes. This car definitely feels like it's built for Europe, okay, and how light it is and how flickable it is. And we'll talk more about that when we start driving. Huge bolsters here, and that's going to be beneficial when we throw it in the turns. Alpha on the headrest, like I mentioned, sunroof. Let's go and open that up. It's kind of nice to have a double sunroof here. Does it open more? That's weird that it stops. It stops like here, and then you have to press it again to open it the extra 2 inches. Thigh extensions here is nice for taller or longer legged people. This doesn't look luxury at all, but I don't care because this is functional. It's easy to figure out. You do have confirmation up here on what's going on. Of course, this does do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't think it's wireless. I could be wrong. I think you have to tether through here or through back here, which there is a USB-C back there, which kind of surprises me for the age of this car, but they probably had to update it at some point over the past 2 years to put a USB-C in here. There's a wireless charger. You can still operate this screen with a rotary dial. I think, yes, it's also a touchscreen. It's just really laggy, really laggy. I mean, I would try to spend as little time as possible on this screen if I own this vehicle and just put and mirror my phone onto it. I like the shifter. So if you want to put it into reverse or drive, you have to press the trigger behind here. If you put it in neutral, it's no trigger. All right, well, I guess I figured it out on camera. Volume knob right here, which is nice because it's right off of where your arm is. Here's your drive select mode. This does have adaptive dampers. It has a limited slip rear diff, which is quite nice. And you have these massive metallic paddle shifters. I love these things. These are, well, we'll play with them here in a little bit. Some of the best paddle shifters in the market, absolutely. You know, this screen is so dated, and then you have this gorgeous, really, really vibrant and nice contrast 12-inch screen behind the steering wheel, and you customize with this button, and then you just scroll through with the scroll wheel. And then if you want to customize the screen on the right, you just, you know, press that button, that same button again, and then the scroll wheel is the same functionality. All right, so with that being said, let's go and start driving the Alfa Romeo Giulia sports sedan. Put it into reverse. You can see this backup screen looks like it's from about the, you know, the 2010s, maybe even prior to that. It's really poor backup screen quality. It's too bad I don't even have a 360 camera on this grade, but it is what it is. I do have parking sensors at least, which is nice because this thing is so low to the ground. Ooh, well, the good thing is that I'm still in dynamic mode, but it starts off in natural mode most of the time because it's DNA, right? I think A is advanced efficiency mode, and I never go into that. But one of my major annoyances is the turn indicator. The turn indicator is the same as like a Lexus IS, which is a direct competitor to this. If you want it always returns to neutral, I should say. Okay, we're taking this yellow, throw it in the turn, and that's why you get this vehicle. I mean, it feels like it weighs nothing in the turns, and the steering is crazy twitchy and crazy accurate. That's why you get an Alpha. If you care about turns more than anything, this vehicle is perfect. Now, the problem is I have no turns here in Florida, so I can't really utilize this car to its maximum capacity, nowhere close. All right, the engine though I can. Of course, I have plenty of straightaways to ring out this 4-cylinder. All right, but the turn indicators are return back to normal or center. And so when you cancel it, sometimes you accidentally overcorrect and turn on the blinker the other direction. It's just frustrating. So what about how this vehicle behaves? Well, it's actually pretty lethargic with the engine and the transmission in the standard natural mode. It is very laggy. Not because of like a turbo lag, it's because of the programming here. Okay, it upshifts really, really quick, and I'm stuck behind this slow truck. So it's just kind of indicative of this N mode, this natural mode, which you pretty much have to floor it in natural mode to get anything out of this engine. Let's talk about comfort, and I'll get back to the driving modes once I have some open road. I am comfortable in here, but I'm also fairly skinny. I'm tall and skinny. I'm around, I don't know, 200 pounds. It's not that skinny, I know, but like, I feel like if you're much heavier than me and have a big torso, which I don't, you're probably not going to be the most comfortable in this vehicle. All right, so we're going to put it into, oh, good. We're going to put it into D mode, which is the mode you need to be in. And that's when it does what you want it to. It's very intuitive, okay? I put my foot down, just a little bit half press, and it just goes, baby. It gives me what I want, what I'm expecting this car to give me from its overall capability, all right? But it starts off in natural mode, and mid-press of the throttle, it's a dog. So I gotta be in dynamic mode for me to enjoy this car. Obviously, I can enjoy it just by looking at it, especially in this Montreal green. But in terms of driving, I have to be in the dynamic mode. And some of you are saying, well, that makes sense. You know, it's good to have different driving modes. And honestly, even in D mode, yeah, the steering stiffens up. The suspension feels tighter too. All right, so even in natural mode, it handles like it's on rails, but it's a little bit on the soft side once you push it past like 80%, I would say. But if you really want to drive spirited, you want to be in the D mode. And in fact, I'm in D mode all the time because I just can't stand how lethargic the programming is in natural mode. All right, so now that that's out of the way, people are packing up their Porsches to head back north, which I am okay with. All right, they're getting around. We're in dynamic mode. Engine smooth. Oh gosh, we went fast. We went real fast. Head on the brakes. The brakes are fantastic here. The steering's great. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Biker Man. Throw it in the turn. It's good. It's good. This engine's really smooth. It's a good engine, and it's made in Italy, this engine. This transmission is sourced from Germany. But let's play with the paddle shifters real quick. Let's get on the brakes. That was a pretty quick downshift. There it goes. You know, it's good. It's fun. I get engine noise. I get like zero exhaust note, which is unfortunate because I feel like that really enhance experience here. In dynamic mode, you should have adaptive exhaust. And that's the thing, like now that I'm thinking about this, guys, this vehicle costs as much as like, it costs 10 grand more than a Civic Type R. It costs, I know that's not luxury, but if you look at the Acura Integra Type S, which would be more of a direct competitor, it's far more functional. It handles just as well, if not, well, you know, ooh, we have an ID Buzz here. It's in the same category of handling. That's a cool car, man. I love the looks of that ID Buzz. I haven't driven one yet. This is a good engine. It's a really good engine. It's really smooth, and it's torquey, and it's linear. It likes to rev to the top. So anyways, there's just so many other cars I'd rather have than this for this price point. And for me, its strength is lost here on me in Florida because of the lack of, you know, twisty roads. So let's head back to the office. Let's talk about where this vehicle falls on the spreadsheet. Let's see if we can find any deals and summarize the Alfa Romeo Giulia sports sedan here in 2025 after 10 years of production. This press car, when it came out, it probably had, they probably still had the Veloce as an option, but they probably killed it mid-model year for the Giulia. It's just really confusing to me. So don't put too much stock into these trim levels, essentially. The Tributo Italiano is where you would want to be right now if you want the best Alfa experience. So let's go ahead and click on this, and here's that green. They call it Verde green. In the past, they've called it Montreal green. I think it's a slightly different, so forgive me for calling it the Montreal green. That's what it used to be called. They call it Verde green or Verde Fangio now, all right, which is just, it's a stunning color. All right, so let's go and look at my area for Alphas. And guys, look, there are still 24 models around that are 11, 10 grand off. So these guys, these are actually good buys. In my opinion, mid 30s for a brand new Alfa that's fun to drive and it looks super, I think it looks amazing. All right, even in these more drab pink colors. Let's go and click green because I'm a sucker for this green. And yeah, it's only on the 25 models. So let's go and check it out. We're seeing, guys, we're seeing a massive discount here, 8 grand on the 25. Essentially, this is what I drove, right? The Veloce. This is exactly the same car that I drove, essentially. So I'm, I think for 48K, it's a good buy. So let's go into the spreadsheet, guys. What are my thoughts on this vehicle? Well,
I think it's a fire sale only. If you're paying MSRP or anywhere close to this, you're not getting a good deal. It reminds me a lot of the Tonale that I drove right at the beginning of this year. The Giulia is more fun to drive, and it does look better, but it is still very expensive. The Giulia is especially long in the tooth. It feels really old. It's essentially a lease special deal, and it kind of reminds me of the old Infiniti Q50 before they canceled it. They hadn't updated it forever, the old Infiniti, based off the Skyline. This feels very much cut from the same cloth. Outdated sports sedan that still looks amazing. It is fun to drive. But unless you're getting a killer lease deal, I wouldn't be interested in one of these. But luckily for you guys, as I found out, there are deals to be had on this car. There's leftover models out there from the 24 model year that are more than 10K discounted. These 25s, you'd be able to wheel and deal to get the lowest lease price possible. I guarantee it. All right. Now, the blue is also a hot color. Red looks good on this. That's the thing for me. If I'm getting an Alfa, I want it in a hot Italian red, a nice blue, or that green that I can't stop looking at the green though, guys, because how many good-looking green cars are there out on the road? There's just hardly any. All right, so this is a car you get because you want to stand out. You want it to make you happy while you're driving. Now, I enjoy driving as long as I'm in dynamic mode. It's fun. It's a good-looking car. It handles great, and you're going to get attention. And if those things are important to you, then this is going to be a great car for you, especially if you can get an amazing lease deal. Otherwise, I don't know. There's just so many other cars out there that are better overall, but I get it if you want the looks and the unique feel of this. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. It's pretty much a fire sale only. Long live the Giulia. It's lived long enough, and I think it's only a matter of time before they cancel it, but I don't know what the future of Alfa is in general. I wish them well. I want them to do well. I just don't. I guess there's going to be a new Stelvio that could come out this year. So I guess that is something to look forward to. I've not driven a Stelvio in a while, which is they also handle amazingly well for an SUV. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Peace.